Everyone loves a single-player experience with a great narrative, especially if you have some freedom in it. In this video, I'm going to talk about some underrated single-player open-world games. And by the way, this video is not in a number order, and all these games are just my personal opinion, because I've made some people angry in the past. Yakuza 0 is one of my favorite games of all time. It has a sensational story, decent combat, an immersive world, and deep characters. It has a slow start, but once you meet the main 3 antagonists, it kickstarts for real. If you're someone who enjoys anime and crime dramas, this is for you. I give it a smooth 9 out of 10. It's rare for a game to be so engaging with so many memorable moments. There are a lot of things to do in the dense world of this game. Even though the map is a little small, it is filled with a damn lot of activities. Toy car race tournaments, rhythm games with karaoke and dancing, cabaret and business management mini-games, and secondary missions that can range from saving a girl from a cult or rescuing a little girl and her family from thugs to straight up teaching a dominatrix how to please her clients. This game has a lot of content in the form of mini-games and side quests, and every one of them feels whole. You can see that the devs really put a lot of thought into every aspect of this game. Kingdom Come Deliverance. First played this game in 2020, around 3 years ago, and honestly, this game requires a lot of patience. It's a game set in realism. Things that would take a few seconds in another RPG take much more time. And I mean time in real life. This is definitely one of the most believable game worlds you can play in. The world is harsh and brutal. Combat is a touchy one. Despite having a lot of fun with this game, there is a huge amount of content in it. This game has hundreds of hours of content. I had a great time with the game, but I cannot easily recommend this title to anyone. The game requires a huge amount of patience from the player to learn the world and to properly interact with its systems. Also, one thing I would like to talk about is the sound design. It's freaking great. Moving on different terrain is very noticeable to the point where you can almost center your horse on roads based on the sounds the hooves make. Combat sounds are especially impressive. Steel hitting steel sounds good with each hit ringing out with the impact. Blunt weapons also sound great, and it almost feels as if I can hear the dent being made in my opponent's helmet each time I bonk them in the face. Voice acting, for the most part, feels fairly well done with some weird miscasting here and there. It has its ups and downs, but the main character cast is generally very well done in terms of dialogue and voice acting. Red Faction Guerrilla still holds up as one of the best open-world destruction games. I have nothing to argue here. It's a dumb fun game which lacks in many areas, but all of these have the counter-argument that you can destroy things the whole time in a way that hasn't really been matched. I think all the Red Faction games have similar pros and cons. The others are all linear shooters rather than open world. Sometimes I would just run around with the sledgehammer and destroy stuff in different ways to watch it collapse. Even to this day, this game has no other competitors. I've seen about one that had better destruction, but it had zero combat. You can engage in quick gameplay when you have a limited amount of time. The game is basically an open world with main missions and side mission. There is no order that each mission needs to follow. I like how sometimes the objective is not to kill all of the enemies in a particular location, but to create diversions that allow you to get the mission done. It's a must-own game if you love destruction and its physics, with a decent open world filled with repetitive yet fun activities. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Not sure if it counts, but Assassin's Creed Odyssey is amazing. So many people dismiss it being a great open world because it's a Ubisoft game, which I do get, and different from past Assassin's Creed games, but it's an incredible showing of Greece. Hours and hours to get immersed, relax, and stab away. Absolutely love the maps. It is bloated, yes, but it's still really fun and has just good feels to it. I can easily say one of the best and most beautiful open world action RPGs of all times. Just exploring the beauty of Greece. No other Assassin's Creed game has devoured my attention and time as much as this one. Whilst not as concise as Mirage, Assassin's Creed 2 or any of the Ezio games Odyssey delivers an engaging, visually gorgeous, and overall a fun experience. Mad Max. This game is criminally underrated. I'm not saying it's a masterpiece, but the world, ambience, and overall feel are great. Games that tie in with films are rarely good, but Mad Max is certainly an exception. The core gameplay loop sees you constantly exploring and engaging in incredibly satisfying vehicular and hand-to-hand combat. Upgrading your car and Max adds a real sense of progression to the game and gives you a reason to wander the wasteland. While the story isn't great, the moment-to-moment gameplay and the stunning scenery are more than enough reasons to pick this game up. It even mocks players for getting into cars the wrong way. This is one of the few open-world games where I almost completely ignored the side content. It was so repetitive, and I was easily able to complete the main story without needing to engage much with the side content, which also made it feel kind of pointless. But notable are those awesome sandstorms, coming down like the hand of God to smite you if you can't get to a safe place in time. I loved the adrenaline. However, they are actually also a playable event, and if you're bold, quite survivable and even useful. Another nice detail, the shape of the terrain actually matters here, just like it would in real life. Just Cause 3. Cause 3 is a great game. It's like GTA on a beautiful Mediterranean island with unbelievable movement mechanics and a lot of destruction. The gameplay is really fun, and there's a ton of content to experience. For a 2015 game, the visuals are really impressive. The map is incredibly diverse and colorful, mixing mountains, seas, beautiful fields, forests, and cities of various sizes. Using your grapple, guns, grenades, cars, or the awesome weaponized DLC Bavarian wingsuit, you can destroy trees, creatures, cars, and chaos objects related to the dictator. The challenges are really enjoyable, essentially letting you play mini-games within Just Cause. Collecting all videotapes unlocks an overpowered helicopter, worth it if you want to clear all bases. Mafia II. This game has so much action and amazing story, loved playing in the 1940s and 1950s, and I love the soundtrack. The characters in Mafia I were great, but in Mafia II, they are amazing. The voice acting is superb, with a cast of characters that are interesting as well as memorable. There are many fair arguments about how this game is flawed. However, you can see the foundations of a quality game being attempted. The story and world building are fantastic, consisting of elements from both The Goodfellas and The Godfather. Look, I understand that my perspective is highly biased and I may be looking through rose-colored glasses about the game, but I do think that it is a game that is criminally underappreciated. Mafia II is easily the best game in the entire franchise. It might even be one of the greatest open-world games ever made. The attention to detail is spot on, the way you can go to stores and buy stuff right from the shelf before Red Dead Redemption 2 ever did it, the pricing being accurate to the time, and the story is great, but so was Mafia 1 and 3. If you're looking for a story-driven open-world game, just go for it.
They want us to give him a message before we do it. Here it is.
Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs is very underrated open-world game. The game needs more recognition. I hate how people always label crime open-world games to be GTA clones, when some games are different. It's really well executed. Once you get a grip on it, primarily being a melee combat game, and the skill trees, things get very fun. There's heaps in it for completionists, but not an overwhelming amount for people who just want the main story experience. A GTA clone that, in my humble opinion, is actually better than GTA, combined with RPG elements of grinding to level up your character. An immersive, gorgeous-looking world with polished graphics that almost perfectly replicates Hong Kong. A great storyline that kept me hooked, fun and challenging combat system, and just all-round a fantastic game. If you're a fan of GTA and looking for something to play, I implore you to pick this one up. Days Gone. Days Gone is almost the same as The Last of Us, but with a bigger world to explore. I was attracted to the mechanics of riding a bike. The story is a little long, but it was presented well. You can take great pictures of the beautiful open world using the photo mode. The bike is controlled very smoothly, even on the keyboard, and its sounds and physics are also commendable. I like post-apocalyptic games, and this one is kind of unique with the whole biker gang theme. In the beginning, your weapons suck, and you'll struggle to deal with small groups of enemies. Eventually, you've got a full collection of guns, darts, and explosives that let you take on hordes of hundreds at a time. There is also a lot of stealth gameplay to take out camps of enemy humans. You also get to customize your bike a decent amount. If you're at all into open-world games and zombie apocalypse settings, give it a try. Mafia Definitive Edition. Mafia Definitive Edition is an amazing game. Now hear me out. This game is pretty linear. The story is divided into different chapters, and you can wrap it up in under 10 hours. This game is amazing. If you like The Godfather and GTA, this is like the Godfather theme made in the style of GTA. The city and environment look thriving, beautiful, and historic. The setting and atmosphere are so convincing. There are old-style bars, cafes, grocery stores, factories, offices, apartments, Chinatown, Little Italy, all over the city. It's not exactly open world because each mission starts up immediately and automatically after the last mission was finished, but you still get to see much of the world. If you like GTA missions and shooting, it's very similar. Maybe it doesn't quite have the same fluidity and polish as GTA, but it's still a lot of fun. I actually really like the way the guns feel, but the game has a free roam mode where you can just freely explore the beautiful city. I admit that there are not many activities you can do. The Mafia remake hardly utilizes the open world setting whatsoever. There are no optional activities. There should have been some side missions to make the world even more interesting. Nonetheless, I enjoyed it.